welcome to the Pocono 2025 review. This is the only race Pocono has this season, and for good reason. We need Pocono on the schedule, and yearly we need to try and get better, but it was not good. Prime made it the best they can, whether it was at the end focusing on the fuel race. That was good. I liked that aspect. It talked a lot about the drag and how you can save some fuel like that, where they talked about how many seconds matter. I liked that it became a strategy race, but if they didn't have that, this race would have been screwed in every which way. There was just no passing between the leaders. There was some from 3 to 8 you could probably pass, and then it became this death of I think Prime called it a black hole. That might have been what Letarte said, of where no one could pass. It's just single file, one by one by one by one. It's like a train. And then from 20th to the back, it was just if you had a good car at that point you could pass, because back there there's bad cars. And so whenever you looked at some of the people, Byron crashed in qualifying, and I want to say someone else crashed in qualifying. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. And so they were running backup cars. Whoa, Byron, I don't even think ran a backup car. They were able to fix his. Regardless, crashing out of qualifying, they just start in the back. And they were able to get pretty good finishes, making their way up through the front. Some of that is just through the race, pit stops, strategy. Your pit crew might be better than theirs. That's how you kind of jump a few spots. But they, ultimately being that far back, did have to overcome and pass some people. But, I mean, and another thing that hurts them is the leader probably was fuel saving that last stint, waiting for Hamlin to try and get close enough. And I bet he was busting his balls every lap he had. And so it just shows that someone going 100%. And I don't want to say this is a bit of a Pocono thing in general anyways, but Pocono also only exacerbated the problems we've been having with this next gen car. The dirty air, it kills people's passing. It helps on the long straightaways, and I think some of the thought hopefully coming in was that you could make the pass on the straightaways, get 5 wide, but the corners reset you so much. Like in the tunnel corner, you had to go single file. There's no other 2 lanes. There's barely a lane point 2 lanes, if math. Barely a lane and a quarter of another lane. It is so small. And so when you have to get behind someone, that dirty air kills your run into 3. And then 3 people get some good runs. But then going into 1, they just had to aero block you. And then that resets you. And then you might get back on into the tunnel. But like I said, you have to follow them into the corner. You can't go on the high line. You can't make the other lines work. Another thing that was a pretty big storyline was 2311. And people are going to ask, are they going to get it fixed next race? Yes. I mean, this is just a one-time thing. I say that. I don't know. I'm not, engineer. But this was probably just a one-time thing where they all, 2311 as a whole, pushed their steps just a tad too far. That's why when originally I thought the 45 cooked too, and they were out. But they just brought the 45 in because they expected the same thing that happened to the 35 and the 23, Herbst and Wallace. They kind of got ahead of it. And at Pocono, it's not a bad track to try it because it's so long they can't really put you those laps down. It's like a road course in pitting. So it wasn't a bad option, especially because, a lot of people weren't going a lap down. You stay that lucky dog, but just 2311 as a whole going into that day were screwed. There was nothing, unless they just changed the whole brake setup or the airflow, whatever caused those brakes to overheat or crack, and it wasn't even, Wallace went out before even halfway through the race, so there was no way they were making it the whole race. They pushed their setups a little too far, in some sort of way, and it bit them. And it's honestly a horrible race to do it, because they finally started getting that mojo back. They finally started getting the decent positions, and Bubba seemed to have a very good, clear head, but you hope that really is how he feels and not just driver talk. Because especially as a driver, you just got to move on. There was nothing he could have done in that situation to change what the crew had put in place as his setup. Same with Herbst. There was nothing, unless they want to drive 40th to give it all the air possible, it just won't. It was like that before going into the race. But like I said, they had so many good finishes in a row. They need to kind of keep that going. And I'd hate for this to be another reason why they stumble on the path trying to get to the playoffs. They both, Reddick doesn't have a win and Wallace doesn't have a win. If they have a few more bad races and they get to that cut line in like Atlanta next week and Daytona before the playoffs, if both those tracks and the road courses, those can be up in the air with the ringers we have in the system. They have got to have some more good finishes if they want to try and feel comfortable pointing their way in. If not, they got to win a race, because if they start sliding again, they will be in race win territory come Daytona, and that's not where they want to be, and that's definitely damn sure where the 45 should not be, being the regular season champion last year. I have no clue what has happened to that team. I don't know if last year is going to be a fluke, which everything looks like it shouldn't be, or if this year's the fluke. But something in this team, man, has just gone the wrong way, for way worse, like the wrong way in the worst direction. And they need to get something going back straight and fast straight. Hamlin didn't seem like he skipped a beat. Got a new baby boy. Forgot his name. It's JB something. I watched his podcast. I don't remember what he named. First boy. It almost maybe helped him that he skipped the road course race and didn't have to have that bad finish on the record. But he's also going to Pocono, where he has the most wins of all time. They talked about that extensively this weekend. This is just one of his best tracks, and he knows it. So it wasn't, him missing a week didn't do anything. He still came out, got the pole, and then finished second, which is about all you can ask, really. Another good car. Hosfar had another good week. He had some weird moments getting next to the 47. Kind of tiptoed his way around that, which is good. You don't want to see him getting into him again, or else he will get punched. So I understand why he's tiptoeing. He had another good car this weekend. Busher might have had the best car. He was the only one that seemed like from second that could have made a run. He almost had it a few times, and if he didn't have Denny in front of him, the experience and how good he is, especially at that track, he probably would have passed him, and that would have been the only pass for the league during green, like, all night. I don't know. I'm not sure how many, like, actual green flag without, like, tire situation or, I don't think there was any true passing for the lead. And so Busher having a car where he almost got it done, it shows he probably had one of the best cars that night, if not the best. Blaney, another great car. Blaney and Barry, both Ford's, Penske affiliated. Blaney and Barry both had another good drive. Barry more kind of in the stage 2. He really seemed to be up in the front. And Blaney, he I think was the other crash qualifying car. So he started out in the back to start the race, drove to the front, had some sort of pit penalty, went to the back, and then finished, third? I mean, if Chris Buescher didn't, if Denny didn't, he might have had the best car on the night. I mean, talk about not being able to pass. He had something that hit other cars didn't, and that's, something Blaney does have a lot, but that was quite something for him to go into the back twice and still fight his way forward at a track that didn't seem like anyone could move. And then about time I should probably talk about Chase Briscoe. He didn't dominate this race. He just, when doing strategy, when he got to the front, he just held on. And track position was key. He through the first couple stages and the way they chose to pit by stage 3, when they got the lead, he did exactly what he had to. He did perfect mile saving. They showed a thing, and I almost think it was wrong how much fuel they said he was saving towards everyone else, being almost a mile over. That was pretty shocking to see, especially as someone in that race car, his first year with this new team, and at the beginning it looked pretty rocky for him starting the season, but new team, new crew chief. He was at a dying SHR, and for a lot of people, it takes you a lot longer to get situated in a new team, a new crew chief, and for him, he's mentioned those struggles, but he's only gotten better race to race to race to race to race. He's only gotten experience, gotten better connected to his crew chief, and winning this early, honestly, at this point, he looks like he could be a multi-win-a-year driver at JGR. And that's what they saw in him. That's why he's in that seat. He isn't in that seat just to fill it till the next kid comes up. He is in there to win races now. And him and James Small both, I think, have that drive. James Small does. And Chase Briscoe, from everything we've heard from James Small and around that team, he does too. And with that kind of drive, if he keeps getting better and better and better through this season and next season, he could be a championship level driver. We'll have to wait and see, but that looks to be where he is heading if he stays on course. Final Pocono rating, probably 4 out of 10. There was some good things about the race. It wasn't all unpassing until you got to the leader. And thankfully, Prime did such an amazing job with these 5 races. They made sure to focus on what was interesting. Whether it was the fuel mileage at the end, whether it was deeper in the pack when they were making some moves, we got to actually see them instead of when on Fox we'd only watch the leaders. We got to see those battles deeper on in the field, which I think I like. It made me more interested, but I come back to it probably didn't hold most normal fans just because it was kind of deeper on in things. But yeah, 4 out of 10. I think I feel pretty comfortable with that. But again, I'll be back next week. We're going to Atlanta. Atlanta's going to be a great race. At Saturday night, don't forget, and we're back in channels, not on Prime, TNT, or True TNT. And Saturday night, it's going to be a great race. It's going to be hot. It's going to be hard for the drivers to control. The tires are going to be hopefully pretty wacky, and it's going to be fast. So, if I had to do a prediction, this is on the fly, not thinking about it at all. I like Brad Keselowski to turn it around. I think he knows he has to win a race at this point, and he probably knows Atlanta and Daytona are his 2 best races to do it. So I'm Yeah, I think I like Brad Keselowski. I might be a little biased. He is one of my liked drivers. I wouldn't say he's my favorite at all. I do like him. Um, and I think this is how. I mean, if he doesn't win this race, he's not making the playoffs. So I think he knows that, and he's a big time race winner when he needs to be. So I'm going Brad Keselowski. Thank you.